Hey, babies, I'm back. 2 days in a row, back to back. Look at me. Okay, well, yesterday I covered some of the stuff I wanted to discuss, and I thought I'd leave meat and potatoes for today because I had to get caught up on some business around here, and I got that done. And so I got my little notes here so I can, keep track of what I want to talk about and make this as sweet, simple, short as I can. And as you all know, I tend to go on sometimes. And so I'm going to try not to do that. But no promises, okay? First, the babies. Let's just talk about it. Man, I still only got 7. Nobody else had any. And we got some weather fixing to come in this weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's going to rain 2-4 inches. And I got 11 girls out there who hadn't had babies yet. Don't you know all 8, 9 of them will probably have babies tomorrow right in the middle of the storm. It's the nature of the beast. It's part of farming. You know what I mean? So I might run out there in the rain and gather them up, dry them off, and because Mama will wander off out from under the shelter, be by herself to have the baby, and that'll be in the rain. I'm hoping not. There's places where she can be alone and be in shelter out there. I've got a big old plastic tube, 48-inch pipe, basically. She can get in that, and it's about 30 feet long, so she can go in there and have her babies. She'd be good. Anyway, so that's what I'm dealing with on the baby front. Now, there could be babies out there as we speak, but I haven't been out to check in about an hour. I check every hour or two, just keep an eye on them. Last night, I suffered from a little insomnia. I don't know if you've ever been over to my page. I've got my regular Facebook page, and then I've got my public figure Facebook page, and then I have stories from the Backroads Facebook page, and then I have Signature Retreat. That's this lovely place here page on Facebook. And so if you haven't been to all of them, go to all of them now and like them all. Because a person can't be liked too much. I don't think it's possible, but maybe. Anyway, and that way you can keep up with all of my doings and whatever's going on, I mean, not that it's all that exciting, but sometimes, there's moments. So there's that. And then I don't know why I had insomnia last night, but I just couldn't go to sleep. I just kept mine just running and going. Wasn't thinking about anything in particular, just wouldn't shut down. And so I downloaded the app on my phone, and it's called, what is it called? It's pretty cool, and I put a picture of it up on the Facebook. See if I can get it up here. Yeah, it ain't it. Maybe it's on this. There it is. It's called Skyview. Now you can get a free version of it, or for $1.99 you can get the enhanced version. And it's pretty cool because what it does, I don't know if you can see this or not. Let me get it up. Alright. If I cover, let me cover the, I don't know if you, can you see that? Okay. You see, wherever I point, oh, look, what is that? There's a couple planets, and wherever you point this, your camera on your phone, it shows you where these, there we go. Let me see if I can get over here. It's that way. Okay, this is, what is that? I can't read. Oh, that's the moon. And then what behind the moon is probably Venus or Mars. I can't. It's hard for me to do this. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Mars. You can see it. So anyway, you can just point this, up or down, and you can look, well, you can't see up or down, but you can, and there's some other stuff. And with the enhanced version, it will identify spent rockets or satellites, the space station, and you can track it in real time as it orbits the Earth, and it tells you where it's at and so forth and all this, all the constellations, and it's pretty cool. So anyway, and like I'm looking down at the pole, of course you can't see this right now, but directly below my feet, about 2 degrees off the South Pole, is the Hubble spacecraft. The Hubble telescope right now. Ain't that pretty cool? You can just look right through the whole Earth. It's at the hand of, who is that? Virgo. So, there's that. Anyway, so I couldn't sleep, so I just uploaded that. It was in there. I just turned it on and I started looking around everywhere. Then I saw Venus and Jupiter, took a picture of it, put it on my Facebook, so you can go over to my page and look at it. It's really sweet, fascinating, and it gives you a sense of your connection to the universe and where all these things are. Look at most people look up at the stars and they, ooh, look at all them sparkly things up there, and which one's sweet? I don't know. But what this does is it identifies each one of the constellations, each one of the stars by name. You just, focus in on the thing, and the name of it pops right up. So you can look at the sky at night anywhere and identify everything. And then when you find a planet, if you have a telescope, then you can aim your telescope at the deal and then bring it right up to you. That sort of thing. Something to think about. Something I thought about until 5 o'clock this morning. Because I couldn't go to sleep. I'm a little tired right now. I don't know if you can tell that or not. But anyway, it's something to do when you have a little insomnia and you can't go to sleep. I find it pretty fascinating. Anyway, it just, if I'd had that when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? I'd probably be a famous scientist right now. But I didn't, so I ain't, Now, I talked, starting this Saturday. Now, I don't know if it's going to be this Saturday, but I have a yoga instructor coming out to the farm this Saturday at 1 o'clock. And now that the babies are being born, we're going to have goat yoga. Yes, indeed. And it's going to be every Saturday from 1 to 2. It's $25 a person for the hour. Bring your own mat and so forth. Meet the person, get all your business. And then what you will do is you will come here and you'll go out into the nursery where all the baby goats are. And you'll pick your goat. Pick it up, carry it over to your mat with you, put it down, and then just go about your yoga business. And, of course, that baby will hang with you the whole time once you pick one up. It just wants to know, ooh, you got food? Can I nurse? What's up with you? Man, you smell funny. I'm going to hang with you. You're kind of fun. And they'll do that. They'll just stay right with you. And then you go have your hour yoga session and then roll up your mat, pick up the baby, take it back over to the nursery, put it back in the nursery over there, and everybody's happy. Yes, sir. So that should be fun. We'll see how that goes. I'll take pictures, maybe some videos, people that don't mind me doing that. I'll get permission, But, and then I'll put it on here so you can watch it. It'd be fun. It'd be fun. Relaxing, possibly, and enjoyable. And something you've probably not done in your life. So there's the yoga goats, and that'll be going forward till, for the next 3-4 months, till the babies are too big. You don't want them walking around on your back. When they're 90 pounds, 100 pounds, maybe not so much. But when they're little babies, they're fun. Okay, so and the last topic I wanted to talk about was this whole Obamagate business with the outing of General Flynn and all of the characters from the Obama White House and the people that was in charge of the FBI and the CIA and, you know, all of our intelligence agencies at the time. And the fact that they leaked the information and put it out there, which is against the law, and they're going to get... Now, here's my thing. Do I think anybody of significance is going to get prosecuted? Probably not. Should they? Probably should. If we ever going to stop this kind of business where they politicize our federal government, one party against the other, and our federal government is supposed to protect us against foreign governments. Now, if there's such a lust for power between the right and the left in this country that we threaten our actual sovereignty over this petty struggle, then that tells me the urgent need for term limits is upon us. We cannot trust these politicians beyond a 2-term run. Just can't. Because lobbyists and their own sense of hubris, narcissism, and greed is going to corrupt them. You cannot tell me that an individual who was maybe worth a couple $100,000 max when they went into office on a $179,000 a year salary is a multi-millionaire. They can't save enough. They ain't that damn smart to make investments without having insider information, which they are all privy to. And I think it's a sad state of affairs. Because when our politicians become more about them than us, we're not being served. You know, and it might be a little Pollyannish, but I remember when I took civics way back in the dark ages, it was impressed upon me and all of my classmates that to serve the American people was a privilege and a sacred duty. And only people of the highest moral character and integrity should ever apply. And the intent of the Founding Fathers, if you read the Federalist Papers at all, laid forth the proposition that the average American citizen should be the legislative body. Now, of course, you got to take into consideration the time in which these people lived, 1700s, 1800s. And there was slavery in the country, and women did not have the right to vote or own property, and so on and so forth, in some cases. Well, I mean, own property part. But all of that has changed. But the premise was that any legal American citizen had these inalienable rights that could not be taken away, hindered, or infringed by any means by any government, local, state, or federal. And yet we see ourselves today, the entire country being shut down, and you don't have a say in it. We've got a handful of medical geniuses that have decided, the threat of this virus is so insidious that we must shelter in place and just shut the hell up and listen to the people that know what's going on. Well, sir, it's been my personal experience since as far back as I can remember, even as a child, that the so-called experts that work with and in the government are a bunch of frickin' idiots. And they more often get things wrong than they do right. So, especially when it comes to this virus that we're currently facing, man, it's got an overall, and look, this is without the testing of a wide swath of Americans that would include the asymptomatic people. In other words, those that have the virus or had the virus, never knew they had it because they had no symptoms. And their body defeated it, and now they got the antibodies and they're good to go. But the other part of that is that data is not in the modeling because we don't know who the people are. It's not cost effective to test 400 million people. It doesn't make sense to do that. Now we can, because my God, we've spent federal money to investigate the sexual habits of a South American tree frog. So I guess one could argue that this might be a little more important than that, but then depends on where you stand, where your funding comes from for your collegiate research. So anyway, I guess what I'm getting at is there's real good odds that about 60-70% of the people in the United States have had this virus. Most all of which it had little to no effect on them, and they defeated the virus, and they're stronger for it. But if we had that data and we put that in the modeling, we would find that probably the mortality rate is way less than what they're currently reporting in all the fear-mongering that they're doing on television. Oh, God, you're going to die if you don't wear a mask. And that mask is as useless as tits on a boar hog. But go ahead and wear it. I mean, you can wear the N95 mask if you want to. But if you look at a virologist and what they wear when they're studying viruses, it's a hazmat suit. It's not a surgical mask. It's not an N95 mask. Because the nanoparticle size of a virus is so small that it takes an electron microscope to see it. Which means if you're wearing a face mask to stop a virus, it's the equivalency of putting up a chain link fence to stop mosquitoes. Visualize that. And then if you go to the stores, I just want you to take and make note of this when you go to the store. All the people running around with the masks and the gloves are generally millennials and younger. Gen X is like, they're in their 40s. They're like, screw it. I get it, I don't. Us baby boomers, above 65, we're all living on borrowed time anyway. We should have died in the 60s and 70s. All the shit we did, right? We're still here. So we're good to go. We don't care. You go to the grocery store, you go to Lowe's, or you go to any of these other places, Home Depot, whatever, the places that stayed open the whole entire time. And just take note when you're in there, look around at who's wearing a mask and who isn't. All the young people running around with a mask on. And look here, wearing surgical gloves. And I would lay 50 to 1 odds that when they leave the house, they put on a pair of surgical gloves. And they wear those gloves to every damn store they go to. So if there is a virus on a cart or on the shelf or on the box of cereal or whatever it is that you touch, you are now wearing a non-porous surface on your hands, okay? Which the scientists, the experts, tell us is the best place for the virus to survive is on a non-porous surface. Table, things like that. Gloves. And then they go from store to store just spreading that shit everywhere. And watch them, they'll take those same gloves and adjust their mask, rub their eyebrow because it itches. Got the gloves on. Germs on the outside of the glove. They just rubbing that shit everywhere. Those gloves were made for a single purpose. One time use, throw away. Ask a doctor. Doctor comes in, talks to you about your stuff, puts his gloves on, feels your glands, palpitates you a little bit, checks your reflex, do all that. And then what does he do? He takes the gloves off, throws them away, washes his hand, puts another pair on, sees the next patient. So he don't transfer whatever the hell bugs and cooties you had on you to the next person. Yet you're going store to store with the same damn pair of gloves and the same cloth mask on your face. I'm saying, baby. But there's going to be doctors that come on there and say, well, it's better than nothing. Yep. No, it ain't. It's not better than nothing. Nothing is better than this. Because if you're not wearing a mask, there's nothing holding all them germs on your face. It's like wearing a petri dish. That's just going. If you happen to have a virus in there, you're just filling that cloth full, and then it goes through the cloth. Oh, you stop the droplets, but not the virus. And now it's on the outside. If it didn't fly off into the air. And then you got to adjust it because it's sliding down your nose and it ain't pinched on right. It's hard to breathe, whatever, and slide it down a little bit and take a breath and then stick it back. Now you got the virus all over your gloved hand. And you pick up something and you look at it, no, I don't want that. Stick it back. I would say you're an idiot, but I don't like to be unkind to people. So bless your heart. Just do the best you can do. You know what I mean? But look here. Those gloves, those masks, ain't going to protect your ass because if you stop and think about it, the data is in on New York City. 60% of the people that got the virus were sheltering in place when they got the virus. They stood a better chance to go to Central Park and run around, fly a kite, play with the dog. And then all of the deaths and all of the super high number of people, because they took the sick ass elderly people who 80% of the deaths are these elderly people who had the COVID-19 and sent them back to the old folks home so they could infect everybody else. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard of in my life. They had a ship sitting in the harbor, and we converted this huge convention center into a big, huge hospital that sat empty. But, well, we'll just take these sick people and send them back to the home. You see, you can listen to these experts if you want to, but I would advise you to just observe what they do and ask yourself, do I want them people responsible for my safety? No, sir. I'm sorry. I'll take my chances because I'm a hell of a lot smarter. And I don't claim to be an expert. I'm not a neurologist, or I'm not a bacteriologist or virologist or any of the other ologists. I'm just a dumbass farmer. But I can tell you, I went to the grocery store every week during this whole damn thing. I've been to Lowe's several times, Home Depot a few times. I've been to the irrigation store because it's still open, because I got business I got to tend to. I've been to the feed store. It's open because you got to feed your animals. I've been around all these people. Now, I could die tomorrow from this virus. And hell, I could have had the virus and don't know it. There's a good friend of mine, I believe, that she has had the virus. And I think she recovered. And she had about 2-3 weeks of, some dry coughing and a high fever. Then she recovered. Now, she wasn't tested. And her doctor said, well, need to test you. Either you survive or you ain't. So we're in Texas, baby, so, suck it up. But she's fine now. I think there's a whole lot of people that has had this virus, and we're going to be fine. But I just wanted to get that off my chest. So I've covered the insomnia and all this general phlegm business. I believe all that's going to come out in the next month or so. I don't expect anybody of any significance to pay any kind of a price for the bullshit that they did. And it's just going to be talking points for either side. But this is why, again, term limits, baby, they're so important. And I know I hear the argument, well, we need experienced people in the halls of justice and in the halls of our legislature, because they know how to make these laws and do and all that kind of stuff. No, sir, what they know how to do is feather their own nest. They know how to play the system, and they know how to suck money out of lobbyists. That's what they know how to do. And they know how to threaten and groom the juniors that come in every couple years. Yeah. You want to sit on a committee? You want to get reelected? Well, you got to play ball, baby. That needs change, man. It should be a nobler cause, and it should be peopled with people with a hell of a lot more integrity than what we currently have. There's probably a handful of folks in Congress that have the right idea, have the right attitude, and the right amount of integrity and moral substance. The rest of them are just ne'er-do-wells that need to carry their ass home and stay out of the people's business, because they have no business in it. They're doing us no favors. That's my take. So that's all I'm going to talk about today. Been 30 minutes. You don't want to hear me longer than that. That's it. So I'm going to wrap this one up, post it, and be kind to each other. I'd do another ad about all of our stuff, but Amazon.com, baby. Look over at that sign, Signature Retreat. Just put in Signature Retreat products. Poop. Stuff just flies up there right in front of your face. Order some. Do me a solid, baby. You know what I'm saying? Support the small business people. And then soon, if you're local, of course I got the blackberries, but coming soon, probably in about 2-3 weeks, I'm going to have milk and cheese. Goat milk and cheese, Chev cheese, baby. Oh, it is so good. Especially mine, because I make it. And I'm good at what I do. I'm just saying. So anyway, y'all take care of each other. Be kind. Try to do each other a solid, all right? I got a phone call from Virginia. It could be important. See you later, baby. Bye.